Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy, he's 29 years old, and he is a self-proclaimed serial settler. In other words, he's the type of guy that all the girlfriends he's had in his life he's always settled for, because pretty much, if you put two and two together, he doesn't think highly enough of himself that he deserves something better. Therefore, he deals with a whole lot of BS throughout his relationships in his life. And he's going to share his story about his last serious girlfriend he had, which of course he settled for, and all the crap he put up with. And I decided to do this video today, guys, as a teaching tool to help make the point I'm always trying to do with you guys of how it's so important to do everything you can within your ability to build yourself up to be the best you can be. For lots of reasons, of course, to have a good life, do well for yourself, financially secure, but also when you build yourself up to be the best you can be and you're feeling good about who you are, you're not going to put up with crap from anyone. No disrespect, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, business associates, and most importantly, girlfriends, wives, or whatever. Because when people see weakness or people don't stand up for themselves, they just pull more BS. And I'm sure, and I know a lot of you guys have experienced this. Or as you've gotten older, you come to realize this when you connect the dots in your life. And because this guy, obviously, when you hear his story, doesn't think highly of himself, he lets all this bullshit into his life. So he emailed me his story looking for my help and your help as well. So I ask you guys to definitely chime in and add your comments along the way to help this guy out. And if he needs some verbal slaps, give it to him. And you're going to see here. So this is very important. So I'm going to go through his email here. And by the way, he does learn a lot of his lessons. And he has the balls to send this in because he knows he's going to get some shit from me and all you guys. Most certainly, you can guarantee that. But in the end, you can see he's learned some elements of his lessons. But I want to make sure he doesn't repeat the same mistakes. So I'm going to obviously have a lot more to say at the end of this story. So definitely listen in. We can help this guy out. So he starts off. He says, "Hey SSM, I have a story for you and my fellow viewers that's a little different from the ones I've heard so far. And I think my experience could help my fellow men out. I am 29 years old and I am a serial settler. I've settled for every girlfriend I've had, even though I've only been the butt end of a breakup once. This story is about my last serious relationship that ended about 3 years ago. I've been single for a while by choice, but I was beginning to long for the feelings and connection of a relationship. I did okay on the dating apps as far as matches, but nothing really came out of any of them until I got a match while I was working a couple hours out of town. Usually, I'd never swipe on a girl who lived more than 45 minutes drive from me, but this girl caught my eye. We ended up matching and chatted for a while before exchanging phone numbers. We would call and text daily for weeks before meeting up. Smack. Bro, since you've been watching me a while, and for all you guys listening, I'm sure you guys are aware of a pattern. What happens when guys are the type of guys that stop everything they're doing in life to text and talk on the phone with the girl they're dating or seeing or girlfriend every single day. How does it usually work out for them? Do the women see him as a prize? Do the women see him as a challenge? Or do they see him as a guy that's like, well, he's just so available? And how does that guy usually treated by her that's always available to them? Not too well. They usually treat him like crap and cheat on him and break up with him, or just outright break up with him. So right there, you're talking every day. Bro, you have a job, right? A job, hopefully friends to hang out with, goals, the gym, purpose. A guy in his purpose, a guy in his grind is not going to have time every single day to talk and text to women. He's got to be busy. The only way this is somewhat acceptable is if maybe she's reaching out to you all the time and you have a quick response and that's that. So already you're setting the stage to show her you don't have a whole lot of value. You're showing her, you're demonstrating through your actions that you're not the prize she may have thought you were initially. And that's going to invite bullshit. You see what I mean, guys? It seems like it's common sense to me. But until you see real life examples and point these things out, a lot of guys don't get it. And that's why I interrupt these stories all the time to point these things out to teach. And just you watch, guys, how she treats him. Let's see here. Because the distance made it difficult to go out for simple coffee and get a vibe in person. Even before we met, I was beginning to develop feelings for this girl. Mind you, all I had seen of her visually were her dating profile pictures and apparently carefully curated selfies over the few weeks that we've been talking. Carefully curated. Translation, she's very careful on the angles that she has the selfies on purpose. Now, I would think at this point, since she lives far away, and quite frankly, I wouldn't waste my time with a chick that lives any more than 45 minutes away, but that's just me. I think before you make the haul to go meet her, waste too much time, you ought to arrange a Zoom date, if you will, or a Skype date or something like that. You can have a drink, talk to her to see what the hell she looks like, what she's like in person, as opposed to babbling on with texts and phone calls and all that before actually seeing her, because you may find out real quick she doesn't look like what she does in the dating apps. He says here, we finally planned a date, and I drove the 2 hours to meet her. 2 hours? How about she comes and meets you halfway? You're already seeing where this is going, guys. Talking to her all the time, giving her up all his time, driving 2 hours away. Let her come see you, or me halfway. You're submitting, dude. My first thought was, I drove 2 hours to meet her. My first thought was, fuck, what did I get myself into? She looked very little like she presented online. Not a complete catfish, but my conception of her was a cute, petite, redhead horse girl. The girl I saw wasn't fat, but was so far from petite that my brain had to process the whole minute before saying hi. What a freaking surprise. She doesn't look anything like she does in her pictures. Now, you could have avoided all this if you insisted on a Zoom or Skype conversation, but instead you let her obviously dictate how things went, and now you drove 2 hours to see some chick that you obviously are not physically attracted to. It's common sense. But watch what happens next. Remember, he's a serial settler. We went along for the planned date, as I wasn't going to just turn around and drive 2 hours home for nothing. And it went quite well. The whole time I was thinking about what I'm going to do, because I didn't find her physically that attractive, but I had already fallen for her personality. Smack. Don't waste your time on someone you're not attracted to. Yeah, you may have liked her personality, but keep in mind, her personality, she's a liar. She deceived you. She sent pictures to you, painting a picture of what she wanted you to see, but that wasn't her at all. So she's devious, and she's a liar. You should have just pretty much told her, hey, look, you're wasting my time. You were putting up pictures showing me someone that you're not. I would have walked right out of there. I would have gone someplace else to eat and then drove home those 2 hours and used that as a learning experience, never to make that mistake again. But this guy's a serial settler and he's a pleaser. So watch this. He says, then I settled like the professional I am. We had our little issues here and there, but overall, it was a very good relationship for the first year. Fellas, in my experience, a woman is able to hide the extent of her crazy for 1 whole year. Once that year is up, the floodgates open. Bro, she was already demonstrating crazy in her ways by the fact that she was hiding her real looks from you, and you went along with it. See, you're submitting to her, okay? You were demonstrating through your actions, through the phone calls and texts every day, that you don't have a whole lot going on, and then she met you, and it worked. In her mind, I'll get him to like me so much by my personality through the texting and phone calls that he'll just, when it comes to the looks. You were showing her your real pictures, so that just invites bullshit. He says, me being a pretty classic nice guy, an amazing settler, took this weird new level of issues that we were having as one of the rocky patches every relationship has. So I stuck through it. I even moved to her city. Smack. Of course she moved to her city, because that's what nice guy, pushover types do. No. If there's going to be any moving going on, it should be her coming to you. Why don't you insist that? Why don't you put your foot down there? Well, here's the question. Why are you with this broad if you weren't physically attracted to her, she lied to you, she deceived you, and you're obviously going to see her all the time? And it's never a good situation when the guy goes to move for the girl to her turf, and especially moving in with her. How many stories have I done where this has happened? It says here, I did not move in with her. I'm a fool, not an idiot. Okay, you redeemed yourself a little bit. Things actually got a little better when I moved initially. After around 6 months, though, I was going through my own rough time. I was overworked, had made no friends in this new city, very stressed, and the girlfriend wasn't doing anything to help. In fact, she would routinely get mad at me when I was exhausted for not trying to go out and do whatever she'd yell at me for. She lied about her looks. You moved to her turf, and now she's yelling at you and giving you a hard time. What high-value guy would tolerate this crap? Well, you're not a high-value guy, and she knows that. And now she knows she can yell at you and give you a hard time and pull all this manic bullshit on you. No man with self-respect is going to put up with this, and this is why I push you guys so hard to work on yourselves the best you can be in all areas, because you wouldn't take this shit. And look at all this time and energy he's wasted on this broad. He picked up and moved for her. It's crazy. Things got progressively worse. Oh, they weren't bad already? And we would fight about a lot of stuff. I realized in hindsight that every time we'd argue, I would be winning the argument because I'm not psychotic, and she would gaslight me by shifting the topic to something else. I would realize we weren't even talking about the same thing and just decide I'm over-arguing. After a year, I got my job offer back in my hometown. She was not happy that I was moving back so far away, but I didn't let her protests sway me. It was a great opportunity and a new field that I'd be insane not to take. Hallelujah, you're starting to come to your senses. And you know what? If she was worth keeping, which she's not, you'd be like, hey babe, I moved to you. I had this great opportunity. You can come with me. And if not, too bad. If not, well, maybe we'll just see other people. But you should have left the second. When you first met her in that bar and you saw she didn't look anything like the pictures where she was trying to con you to think what she was, you should have walked. I'm sure looking back, you wish you did. We talked about her finding an apartment near my hometown for a while until she was offered a summer gig far enough away to make visiting each other not an option for a few months. We had done long distance for months at this point and decided we could hang on for another few months. Again, why are you with her with all this drama and turmoil going on? Because you're a serial settler. And why are you a serial settler? Because you don't have a whole lot of value. You don't see yourself as a guy with value. And I know, dude, that there are things about you that are valuable. But you have to question yourself, why do I put up with this? Why do I keep doing this? Until you do that, you're going to keep making the same mistakes. Thankfully, that extra distance just made everything worse. She demanded I call her on my way to work every morning, despite the fact that I like time to myself to prepare for the day. Demanded. Women that respect their guy don't demand shit from them. Women that don't respect their guy make demands. And weak guys oblige to demands. See what I mean? What I tell you from day one about you on the phone with her, texting her every day, already you were showing her you don't have a whole lot of options. Therefore, you're not a high-value guy. Therefore, she doesn't have to treat you like one. See? It's not rocket science, guys. Eventually, it got so bad that one day I had to hang up on her or I'd be late for work. And she blew my phone up the rest of the day, threatening to break up with me if I didn't answer and argue out whatever we were fighting about. I'm going to probably take a wild stab at this, and then she probably comes from a family just like this, because that's all she knows. Who in their right mind will put up with this? I'll tell you, a low-value settler. To the best of my memory, that day was the last straw for me. I had been beat around by this girl I'd settled for, who not only wasn't my type, but also hit the 200-pound mark during our relationship. What a big surprise. She beefed up. You know why? Because she has no reason to look good for you, because she knows she has you. She's like, this guy puts up with all this crap? Okay, I'll put on 30 pounds. Let's see if he sticks around. Oh, well, I put on 30 pounds. He's still here. All right, I'll put on another 20 pounds. Oh, he's still here. Smack. She hit the 200-pound mark, blah, 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 for 2 years, and I was sick of it. I gave myself a few days to cool off and called her. I told her that I thought we should break up. She responded with the usual whys and why nots, and I tried explaining. Her response was, I can't do this right now, and she hung up. I'd say, okay. I try to talk to you rationally and calmly and break up with kindness. Okay, we're done. No, doesn't go that way. We went a few days without speaking when I called her again and tried to break up. Same response. Why'd you call her again? You did the call, you broke up with her, end of story. She want to listen to you, that's when you move on. You're inviting all this trouble in your life, man. Finally, a day or two later, I called one last time to break up when she predictably responded the same. Of course she responded the same because you are predictable and you keep doing this nice guy shit. This time I told her that if she hung up again, she'd be single and blocked. This was basically the first time I put my foot down in our entire relationship. We talked it out calmly, though there was little to talk about. I was done. Hear what he just said there? This was the first time I put my foot down during the entire relationship. And all of a sudden she was calm and they talked it out. This is what guys that have value do. They have boundaries. They stand up for themselves and they lay down the law when it's necessary. He didn't do that the entire time of their relationship. And the one time he does it, look what happens. She shut the hell up and listened. Obviously broke up with her, but the point is, if you don't have any balls, if a man doesn't display his balls, she's going to display her balls. 2 days later, I went to sleep happy and woke up happy for the first time that I felt forever. I left out the stories of her psycho shit for the sake of brevity, but if y'all want to hear those for context, I can regale you with what I remember. No thanks, we've heard enough crazy on her part. Since then, I've met a younger, sexier, kinder, and overall better woman, and we've been hanging out on and off for almost 2 years. Though she's awesome and the best sex I've ever had, I've been very hesitant to make anything official. Despite my feelings for this girl, partly because of my last relationship and partly because even though this girl is light years beyond my ex, I know in my gut I'd still be settling. The same gut feeling as the first day I met my ex. Well, obviously, if you're seeing this chick, this new girl is younger and prettier and cooler and all that, and she's not bugging you about a relationship, then obviously she doesn't want one. And the mistake you made about bringing up the whole thing about getting a relationship. It's the woman that should be bringing up the relationship, not the guy. Because believe me, if she wants you to commit, believe me, she'll make it as clear as day. But if she doesn't, she's not there yet. So she can see you as a friend with benefits, or just a guy to hang out with, or you could be one of many dudes she's having fun with. Keep that in mind. But you're improving because you didn't settle yet. Now for my request for advice. I'm moving out of state in the next few months. California. This girl and I kept promising to keep in touch. And she wants to visit me in Montana during her van life traveling. Van life traveling? Sounds like free spirit to me. Watch out, you go falling in love with a free spirit girl. We both have pretty deep feelings for each other that we have both expressed despite never being in an official relationship. Again, too scared to make that same mistake again. Do I keep in touch with this girl? Do I follow through with the plan to meet months down the road? Do I say yes and hope that she can find someone interesting that's closer and more convenient than me? Basically, I don't want to break her heart again, but I can't go through with anything serious with her. I can't settle anymore. What's the best course of action here, SSM? Thank you for all you do. Men everywhere, including me, are helped every day. Regards. So, what you need to do is start focusing on you, my man. Before you are not in a place to get any relationships again until you really address why it is you always settle for these women that you aren't attracted to, aren't into, and put up with all this crap. I mean, your story is that woman is a freaking horror story. All those years. You need to dig deep and find out why is I do that. And I don't even know you, brother, and I can tell you why. Because you don't think very highly of yourself. That's why. Because no guy that thinks highly of himself and is proud of himself and all that, and I'm not talking an egomaniac, just a guy that's happy with himself and his life and has self-respect, would ever tolerate the crap that your ex put you through. Never. Not for a second. And you made typical nice guy mistakes like talking to her every day and texting and all that, but the second you met her at that bar, you should have turned around and walked the hell out. Because it was BS. And right then and there, she knew you. She had you. I'm being honest with you, man. So you need to dig deep and find out what makes me do what I do. Why do I keep settling for these gals that I'm not interested in? And big surprise, the relationships don't go well. Only then are you ever going to be at a point where you can actually be in a relationship again, because you're obviously a relationship type of guy. But while trying to figure that out, and maybe it might take a little therapy perhaps, if that's what it takes, I'd be doing everything you can to work on yourself and better yourself in your life, every area. Whatever job you do, being the best you can be. Moving up in that, staying in good shape, making new friends, having a good time. You're moving to Montana? Cool. I was in Montana once. I thought it was amazing. They call it Big Sky Country for a reason. And big shout out to all the Montana brothers out there. Make new friends. Get out. Join a gym. Do all these things in your new place. Start a new life there. and focus on you. And in regards to this girl, the van life traveler, free spirit, you can't think about her. Think about you. And I would pretty much say, look, I'm moving to Montana because that's where I really want to go. And I'm going to restart my life over there. And if you want to come visit me, awesome. I'd love to see you. But you're not going to make any kind of commitment or anything like that, okay? Do what you want to do because your track record shows you do what they want to do. See what I mean? And when a man goes along and lets the woman be the leader, it's not going to end well. And I know the dude who wrote this story, and I know you guys listening are aware of this, either your own personal experiences or from all the stories I've done. When the woman leads, it doesn't go well for the guy. When the guy leads and does what he wants and she's along for the ride, it works out in his favor. So go to Montana, start over there with a new job, new place to live, making new friends. If you join a club, join a martial arts school, a boxing club, I don't know what, so you can meet people, be active, talk to people, make new friends, start your life there, and date other women when you're ready, and don't make these mistakes again. And every time you feel like you're settling, really say, why am I doing this? And not put up with crap, okay? And you do all this stuff, and I guarantee you'll be in a much better situation. So guys, just like I said, this story, and I'm sure many of you guys were just, you just wanted to slap. I'm sure many of you guys watching this were doing slaps on your own while you're watching this on your couch or driving in the car. I did this on purpose, just to show you guys what happens when a guy settles and he doesn't value himself. This is why I do all these things I do, to help God build these guys up. And this way then, moving forward, you guys can have a lot better life and happier life. Because we got a lot of miserable freaking people walking around here. And if I can help improve a few guys' lives around the world, hey, I'm doing my part. So, bro, best of luck. Stop freaking settling. Work on yourself before you get any kind of relationship. And focus on you. Put yourself first. Because remember, what do all the bad boys do? What are the two main things bad boys always do? The nice guys never do. They put themselves first. And they always check the women. You, in your previous relationship, never put yourself first, and you never checked her. The only time you checked her and laid down the law and put your foot down was when you were breaking up with her, because at that point you had nothing to lose. And look how she responded when you put your foot down. Now, I want you to think about that. Remember that the next time you're in a situation and you, in your heart, know, I need to stand up for myself, but you're feeling hesitant because of self-doubt. Stand up for yourself. Put your foot down. You'll be amazed at the results. And people don't respect weakness. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Give him some help. If he needs a hard dose of reality, give it to him, because believe me, you're helping him out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.